Hey, I'm Mama J, and these are my stripper stories.
Mama J, welcome to Stripper Stories.
Hey, my baby.
Oh, I'm excited about talking to you, girl.
I'm a little nervous, but we're going to get it done.
We're gonna get it done. So
Already.
we're gonna jump it off. You are a house mom,
I
house mother
Yes, I
of the
am.
strip club.
Yes.
How did you get into that?
Long story and how I got into it, but I'm going to try to sum it up. I previously owned my own club, had one of the managers from another club come in and asked me to come on board with them. I was like, hell no, I got my own shit going on. But eventually things went bad for me. So, bloop, I uh, I went over and I was hired. So, a little bit over 10 years ago.
Mama J, do you have a dance background at all?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I know a lot of people ask me that when I start dancing. They're like, do you dance before? Oh, of course.
Because
I
I would
do.
want my house mom to be there, have done it. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? If all is in life.
Yep, I do have experience in that, yes.
What do you think are some of the most important qualifications to have to be a successful or good house mother?
First of all, standing on business. Um, Also, you do have to have a little compassion, to go with it, be a good listener and, be there to provide the girls with everything they need. And that's, just whether it be from like, things that they may need to use physically or even mentally. So I'm there in multiple ways. A lot of times I'm there, I'm like their mom away from their mom. So yeah.
Do you find yourself having to or being compelled to play therapist, doctor, so on and so forth with the girls?
Absolutely. And the thing about it is, I think the girls share with me a lot because it stay there. You got a lot of house moms that be all over the place and messy. I'm known, you can bring it to me, they know it's gonna stay. So I know a lot, about a lot of girls, deep stuff. So yeah.
Do you feel like a woman should ever have a pimp?
No, I don't think a woman need a pimp. But I don't knock them if they do have one. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I ain't gonna lie. I tell them if they got a pimp and I know they got a pimp, baby, look here. Don't give him everything. Put some of that motherfucking money up for yourself. So, that's what I encourage because if they want a pimp, that's what they they gonna have one anyway. So yeah. But
What's your thoughts on pimps that be in the club and just sitting around and
I don't really judge them too much, but today a lot of these guys they say they pimps, but they really ain't their boyfriends. You know what I mean? So I don't. I mean, they just don't know. The game is just not like now. I don't know. I don't judge them. Do your thing.
What do you say to those who may say like, well, house moms, they not nothing but softcore pimps back in the back?
Yeah, when they tell me that, they be talking about you're a madam. A lot of people did. I mean, when they like you're a madam, I say, hell no. If I was a madam, nobody would have a dime. And then really, the true definition of a madam is they go and search for clients for girls. You know what I mean? So people really don't know, but it's not. No, I have all the money. Definitely not a madam.
Do you got a little bit more knowledge on madamism than people know? You got a little energy about you.
what's the worst thing that you've seen happen to a dancer since you've been a house mom?
The worst thing I've seen that happened to a dancer is she got stomped out real bad and had to go to the hospital and thankfully she pulled through like in about 3 weeks, but she was in critical condition. She got stomped out with a high heel stripper boot.
It was one girl. It was multiple girls.
It was one girl that got stomped out, but two of them stomped her out.
Mm-hmm. Do you know the story behind it at all?
Not really. But 9 times out of 10 it was some money, nigga, something, something like that.
Do you feel like if a girl get to fighting in the club or she initiate a fight in the club that she should be able to continue to work?
If she's initiating it like a bully,
yeah,
type
like
thing,
you swinging off, you starting problems,
nah,
you
get
fighting
the
in the
fuck
club.
out. This is not what that's about. It's about getting up in here, getting you some money, going the fuck home.
What do you feel about the dancers that might sell themselves in VIP or inside the club, but not outside the club?
Me personally, I think those girls should. I mean, it's breaking a rule, of course, and we stand on business when the rules are concerned. Get the number, do your thing. I say,
Do you feel like it downplays or diminishes the dancers, the ones that are there to
absolutely,
entertain?
absolutely. First and foremost, it does. Yep.
I remember there was a time where girls who came in the club, there was a lot of standard,
Hmm.
that there was orientation. Like I know when I started dancing, I had a house mom, and we had actual orientation, and
Hmm.
she gave you the real, she gave you the game, she
Right.
let you know how it goes. You see less and less of that these days. Why do you think that is? Why do you think there aren't any like real OGs in the club? There's no orientation in the club. Where do you think that went?
As far as the orientation goes, I just think that the industry is has gone down quite a bit until it's almost kind of like, we're gonna take what we can get. So, it's no more interviews, like, because a lot of clubs, including us, we are accepting people that we normally would not take. So I just think because of the industry, that's just what it is.
You've been in the game a long time, 10 years behind the stage, and many, I'm sure, on stage.
Right.
When you think of the concept of the club and what a woman is supposed to be in the club, what is that? Is it a fantasy? Is it just entertainment? Is it a bundle? What do you feel like it is?
I think it's a mix. Entertainment and fantasy. It's a mix.
So with that being said, do you believe in the idea of like, hey, when you come in here, makeup done, nails done, hair done, outfit, don't just throw on no panties, no bra. How do you think a woman should be selling the fantasy when they come and work in the club?
Look up to the par, and I do stand on business with that. But sometimes I do and I try to help them along, outfit or whatever, but I do understand some of these girls that's coming in, they just don't have it. But I do encourage, because I'm looking. Yeah, I'm a bag watcher. So I'm looking. You making money, so upgrade, so yeah.
How old do you think a dancer should be before she quits?
I think she should be working on quitting about 25,
Right.
if not sooner. Because I encourage them, you are in here for a purpose. Get your money, save your money, and get the fuck on. A lot of times I even ask them, do you have any idea what you want to do in life? You know what I mean? Sometimes I can get some answers, sometimes I can't. I even have dancers that has gotten in the industry and got back on scene with my own eyes, and that have become like attorneys or what have you. So, okay, yeah. You heard me. Yeah. That right there. Mm-hmm.
This is my girl right here.
For sure.
When women do stay in the club past what you would say is their prime, now they in their 30s. I've seen some girls in their 40s. What do you think mentally is the issue there? Because you're not as young as you used to be, you're not as willing as you used to be, and a lot of times once you get to a certain age, it's not really even fun to you anymore.
Right.
And I feel like that's part of it.
Uh-huh. I think that when they go beyond that age, and it's like I say, that's just what I feel. But I think it's because they're not in tune with themselves. And they just don't know. Some people just don't know what it is that they want to do. And so you just be stuck.
You feel like there's a way to like guide them or inform them at all once they get there, or is it kind of one of them things where
Oh yeah, I do all the time. I say, baby, what you like to do? You like to deal with people? Do you know you're introvert, extrovert? Do you not like to deal with people? Pets, animals. So I try to, hair. I try to, just pitch some things out there, and sometimes I will get a, So yeah.
What is your thoughts on what's your definition of a lazy dancer?
Money in the building, and you just sitting there thinking that somebody that's just gonna come just sprinkle some shit on your head. You might get that once a year, but thinking, nah, that right there. Mm-hmm.
Right. Do you tell them like, hey man, get up there, get out?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mhm,
what are you
mhm.
doing? Like,
What the fuck you back here for? It's people after you say I ain't making no money. You see the fuck? Why you just sitting there? Get up and go, cause baby, you're not that motherfucking me pretty. To
right.
think a motherfucker just gonna come just give you some money just because. Show motherfucking ass up.
Have you ever convinced a dancer to quit? Like, because like this is not what she should be doing.
Yeah, yeah. I tell them that all the time.
Like
Yeah. You in here, you been in here X amount of years and you're not getting any money. What's your purpose? What you in here for?
right.
And I also tell you, because you have to be 21 to work. So it's people turning 21 years old every day that's coming in that's pushing a lot of you motherfuckers out the door.
How much money should a customer spend when he steps in the door? Like, how much does he need to spend at a night? Like, reasonable amount of money that you should be spending.
You know what I'm saying this day and time? I think a customer need to at least come in with at least 100 ones, and that's little bitty. You know what I'm saying? But because of how they come in, at least get 100. You know what I'm saying? Give one of the girls. And this ain't for no whole group because shit. Sometimes the way it is right now, the girls are sitting there with $100. You might get 4 or 5 girls trying to run up on it. You know what I mean? And they need to stand on business. The customers do too and set boundaries. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about boundaries
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times we talk to dancers and people that's a part of the industry, and they
Mm-hmm.
talk about what the customers need to be doing when
Uh-huh.
they come in, which
Uh-huh.
we'll talk about.
No, you good.
What about boundaries for the customers? How them standing on business and what they like? Because, like you said, sometimes it is a matter of like where girls crowd you. They see a little bit of money. It's 10 girls over there. You might not have wanted 10 girls,
Uh-huh.
or you might have picked out this girl and she done brought 3 of her friends.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think are some boundaries that customers need to have and that they need to stand on when coming in the club?
I think they need to open up their mouth and be like, hey, no, because sometimes the customers can be messed as a motherfucker. They already know the deal when you just sitting there and not saying nothing and letting all these girls come and cool because they gonna start an argument. But I think the customers need to get wristbands or say, you know what, hey, I don't want you over here, but a lot of times they won't, they just let the shit go on, the mess go on.
When do you believe that there is a such thing as my customer, her customer?
I do believe that. I believe that a customer can come in for a certain girl, and that's when it resorts back to he need to stand on business and let everybody know, hey, I'm here for her. You know,
If you have somebody who is coming in and they might have tipped you, a couple of times, you might have got some money, and now they came here this time and they
they
own
want
somebody
somebody, yeah.
else.
Mm-hmm.
What's the etiquette of the dancer? Because you do have someone. Well, that's my customer.
Mm-hmm. That ain't your fucking customer. Cause he doing what he wanted to. Because if he was your customer, he'd be specific. Like I said, he gonna let her know, let everybody know
What it is and what it ain't.
that's right.
It seems like they're hiring anybody now. And why do you think that is? Like, I remember back in the day, like you had to be
Mm-hmm.
that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why do you think nowadays any size, it doesn't matter. You can have a super big stomach, teeth missing.
Not for sure. Damn. Not for sure. But that goes back to like what I was saying, it's the economy. So, just like everybody else, shit, they tell everybody they're taking what they can get. Uh-huh.
You think the internet got something to do with that?
What you mean?
OnlyFans, Instagram, Snapchatter.
Oh, yeah, sometimes, yeah, I do. I mean, not, I don't, yeah, somewhat. Could be, I'm going to say possible.
What's the craziest thing you've seen? No, that was the worst.
What is the craziest thing I've seen? I want to say, I don't know if this is the craziest or this might be the worst. I don't know. But one time I seen this dude slap this girl and she got a bottle and bust him across the head. Yeah. So I don't know if that was the worst or the craziest or what, but so yeah.
Do you believe in the idea that the strip club, you show no emotions in the strip club? Like how, a dancer might come in, she might be sad about something, she crying, she emotional about everything. Some may say, the strip club ain't a safe place for that. Do you agree with that?
If a girl comes in and she's emotional, I'm just gonna say, like, if I see it, we're gonna talk about it. And I'm gonna encourage her, you know what I'm saying? Go get you some money and, deal with it, as soon as possible, just at a different time. Yeah, but people gonna come in, because I get it all the time. But yeah.
Do you believe that a dancer should be getting ready at work, or do you feel like she should be getting ready at home, hair done already, makeup already, or you think that's something that they
I
should be
think
doing
you
in the
need to
club?
bring your motherfucking ass in there already dressed.
So we've had a couple dancers come on this platform, and some of them don't agree on tipping out. What would you say to that?
I really had them problems. Cause my girls fuck with me.
Right.
And I fuck with them. I don't really have them problems. Maybe a newbie or something like that, but once I talk to her, I don't really have those problems as far, with the tip outs and stuff.
When if you did have that problem, I know probably in the past you may
Uh-huh.
have had that problem. How do
Uh,
you get your money?
I mean, it's just, so a lot of times I chalk it up. It just depends. Like, I might be like, you coming back tomorrow? If you don't pay, no, you're not. Something like that. I might get on like that. But for the most part, yeah.
Do you have the ability where you stand in the club to fire girls?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Can you tell us a story or a time where you had to let somebody go and it might have been a little, a little much?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this, and this is just being honest. Like, as long as I've been there, I probably only fired 2 girls, and the reason being is like I don't know. It's just by grace, I guess. Whatever. I don't really have those problems. And the one girl that I did fire, she was belligerently drunk. She went in the office and slammed all of everything, the files and everything, slammed them on the floor or whatever. And so yeah, I did fire, but I even let her come back because like I say to my girls, and I mean, I don't know, I just got a heart for them, Yeah.
When it comes to being what essentially is the matriarch of that locker room, do you feel like you are also obligated to come in and make sure that you look a certain type of way, that you look upkept, and that body fleet?
You know what? I probably should, but I don't all the time. I come in there with a moo on sometimes, and I tell but shit, what I can make a moo look good. Shit, I put her ain't done. I put one on my head, but yeah, nah. Sometimes
How much percentage would you say that the dancers in the club are on drugs?
Now you know what? The percentage would be very low. When you talking about like a hard narcotic or something like that, I don't have them. It may be 1 or 2.
Right.
Yeah, but for the most part,
Right. And
they alcoholics, so they like to drink.
Right.
They love to fucking drink.
And if you're dealing with someone that's on something that's hard, how do you deal with that?
I don't know. I guess it would depend on how they would, came to approach me, or if they came with a problem, whatever. I don't know.
You've seen a lot. You've done a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that you have, you grow a liking to certain girls that you work for an extended amount of time. A lot of love for them. What's something that may have happened between you and a dancer that you might have been emotionally attached to that might have hurt you a little bit or made you kind of feel a certain type of way? Because I'm sure it happens.
A slight little argument. They done did some foul shit. And I'm like, man, I can't believe you did that shit. But the thing about it is because the type of mom I am, I'm approach them. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go bumping around to this, your partner, and, this, that, and the other. I'm going to approach them. We just hash it out. But yeah, an argument, something that's been said or some weird shit that's done been done. You know what I'm saying? That has affected me, so yeah.
What's some things that you provide as a house mom that sets you apart from other house moms?
Girl, I'm gonna tell you, I have everything under the sun. Anything ain't there. I sell wigs, I sell hair, I sell, of course, I sell clothes, makeup, just you name it, I have it.
You be selling food too.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, get a good meal
girl,
out
get
of
in there and have to cook. Yes, ma'am. That too. Yep. Thank you.
Why is it so hard for dancers to get out the game?
I don't know. Like I was saying, I think, in talking to the girls, a lot of them, either they just not ready or maybe some just don't have a vision yet, So that's the only thing I can think of.
if a dancer is like too messed up or can't drive home, what is the protocol? Like, what do you do in that situation?
I'm finna call your Uber. I'm finna call your man, or you finna sit here, or your friend or something, but you cannot leave.
You just can't leave.
You can't leave. Period.
Right.
No.
Have you ever lost a dancer as far as no longer with us?
I have.
Are you okay telling us about that?
Well, one of them you guys already know about, and I won't go into detail about that, but a couple, yeah.
And is it just as emotional for you as anybody else,
Oh,
even though it's the club?
Of course, because those girls were very close. I was very close to those girls.
How do you mentally prepare yourself to go in the club and deal with the women, the men, the environment?
I'm so used to it, but I will say everyone I do pray. Whether it's like, okay, thank you, God, lead me, through this day or whatever. But yeah. So
Now, I know you talked about having vision,
mhm.
having a plan, and you wearing your plan. You wearing your vision,
Yes,
which is no
thank you.
issue.
Yes,
That's you.
it
Can you
is.
tell us about your brand, what inspired it?
Okay. So what inspired No Issues is I was going through a little something, just kind of like going through the slums or whatever. And I just thought about a positive affirmation and I threw it on a shirt. Of course, I was going to target females only. My son, which everybody knows, Monkey Man, he inspired me. And he was like, Mom, it needs to be versatile for men and women. And so that's what I did. I just put it on a t-shirt and it worked. And so I just came up with No Issues, and which is like having a mindset of being unapologetic about confidence, allowing negativity to hold no power. So the drip is really coming soon. I'm still, at the beginning of it, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, the drip looks really nice. We're gonna show it in the beginning so they can see it all the way through. But before we get out of here, is there any well, what advice would you give to a dancer that's looking? Well, not a dancer, but a woman that's looking to get in this game.
I usually ask them why, what's the purpose? And the answers that I get is to make money, So I ask them, do you have anything to go with that? Are you in school? Are you looking to go to school or whatever? So I get all kind of answers with that.
Right. And if you could change anything about the club, what would you change?
I don't know. That's a good question. Very good question, but it's kind of hard. I don't know. I would have to think about that.
When we bring you back, you don't have to answer.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to support No Issues, purchase anything, what I'm saying, get they feel, how would they go about doing that?
Instagram, No Issues streetwear. So the new drip will be here in December 17th.
Okay. I'm gonna need mine.
Oh, you definitely gonna
in
get
pink.
Yours. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, I need to wear it on my you know what I'm saying? Mama J, it has been a delight and a treat. You are our first time speaking to a house mom, and that perspective I feel like is your perspective is so important. A lot of people don't know or get to see what happens behind the scenes, and you are the behind the scenes.
I am behind the scenes.
Yes,
yeah.
And we appreciate you for what you do for the game, and we appreciate you for coming and telling your stripper story.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you too, and thank y'all for having me. Most definitely.